Can you actually make $1 million sports betting in a year? You see guys like Vegas Dave placing ridiculous wagers and touting a lavish lifestyle, all thanks to sports betting. So it has to be real, right? In this video, we're going to dive in and separate the myths from the truths. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what your true earning potential can be in 1 year of sports betting. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video because I'll reveal to you my best months as a sports bettor, showing you real results that will provide you valuable insight and help shaping your sports betting journey. But first, I need you to smash that subscribe button if you want to beat the sports books. We upload videos every week teaching you how you can become a profitable sports bettor, and you're not going to want to miss a video. Let's look at this from the sports book's point of view. Here we have player 1 and player 2. Player 1 loves the wager on parlays, usually only bets on the weekends, and typically will place his bets minutes before the game starts. Player 1 also only wagers on their favorite team and players and usually follows the crowd. Player 2, on the other hand, only places straight wagers. They'll place bets multiple days ahead of the event, and they're beating the closing line value 65% of the time. Don't worry, we'll touch on what that means here in a second. Player 2 also typically bets on a wide variety of leagues, teams, and players. Now, the sportsbook is going to prefer player 1 over player 2. Player 1 isn't profitable, and the sportsbooks love this type of customer. They'll actually increase the wager limits for player 1 so they'll be able to get more action down on their bets. Player 1 has shown the books that they don't have a clue on what they're doing. Player 2, on the other hand, has shown the books they do know what they're doing, and this is not the ideal customer the sportsbook wants. This type of player has demonstrated that they have an edge and they are profitable. The sportsbook will limit the amount that this player can wager per play, and if this behavior continues, the limits will increase, meaning they won't be allowed to get down that much money on a play. Let me show you an example of player 2. Over here at DraftKings, we're looking at this Twins-Yankees game. Let's say I wanted to bet the over 6.5 strikeouts on Pablo Lopez at plus 105 odds. Let's say I wanted to wager $200 on this particular play. Well, DraftKings knows that I'm a profitable sports bettor. I know what I'm doing and I have an edge, so they limit me to $85.28 just for this play. Different book, same situation. We're looking at game 1 of the NBA Finals. Let's say I'm looking to bet Jason Tatum over 27.5 points. Let me try to get down $150 on this play. BetMGM knows that I'm a profitable sports bettor. I have an edge. I know what I'm doing. They're only going to let me wager $22.83. The number one way that you can show the sportsbooks that you know what you're doing outside of being profitable is by consistently beating the closing line value, or CLV. An example of beating the closing line value would be us wagering on the Pirates to win the baseball game over at Caesars at plus 158. A lot of sharp books like Pinnacle plus 146, Circa plus 154, Bookmaker plus 151, they all have it roughly around here. Well, let's say right before first pitch, we check the odds to see what we could get when we bet the Pirates money line. And let's say that the best odds that we can receive are plus 150. Well, we know that we received 8 cents in value because we received plus 158 odds, meaning we beat the closing line value or we beat Vegas. Same example with this Rockies Cardinals, where we're taking Rockies at plus 200. No other sportsbook is offering those odds to us. So when you're consistently getting a better price than all the other sportsbooks are offering and you're beating Vegas, that's how you're profitable, and the sportsbooks know this. Vegas Dave doesn't make all his money from sports betting. He rakes in his profits from selling you his picks. And lucky for you, there's this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where all you have to do is spend $1,000 and you'll gain access to his super GOAT picks. If old Davey Boy was really taking the sportsbooks to the cleaners for 19 straight days, do you think the books would let him wager hundreds of thousands of dollars? No, because Vegas Dave isn't a threat to the sportsbooks. That's why they let him wager so much. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Now, in my opinion, you can't make $1 million sports betting in a year unless you hit on some crazy super long shot ticket like that Thunder guy, and even he cashed out for like 80 grand. Although you can turn sports betting into a very profitable side hustle. First, there are a number of different factors that will determine your earning potential, like where you live. If you live in Colorado, New Jersey, or Iowa and have access to over 17 different sports books, your earning potential is much higher than someone who lives in Connecticut or Arkansas and only has access to 3 sports books. The more books at your disposal, the more first-time sign-up bonuses are available to you, which can really help pad your bankroll. Living on the East Coast has its advantages as well. I grew up an hour south of Pittsburgh. I can reach Ohio, Maryland, and West Virginia all in under an hour, which make for some wonderful weekend getaways to take advantages of some new books that aren't available to me in Pennsylvania. If you live in Oregon, your neighboring states don't offer these same opportunities. If you could pick one state to move just for sports betting, what would it be? Comment down below. Let's take a look at my best month sports betting using OddsJam. This will provide you realistic expectations of what you can actually expect to make. Now, my best month ever as a sports bettor was January of this past year. In terms of, I had over a 9% ROI. But there's some key things that you're gonna wanna pay attention to. One is I placed over 570 bets and I wagered just around $71,000. In my opinion, you can make anywhere between a 2 to 10% monthly ROI, but it's all based off of the amount of money that you staked. As you can see, my closing line value wasn't that fantastic in terms of beating it. I only beat it 59% of the time, and I won just slightly over half of my bets. Very similar results when we look at my February of 2023 when I made over $8,400. Again, I won 52% of my bets. I placed just over 800 wagers, beat the closing line value at this point 64% of the time, and staked almost $101,000. Brought back over an 8% ROI, which is fantastic. So just looking at a few months back at my March, I won just under half my bets, but my profit was less because my total stake was less. I still had a lovely 5.5% monthly ROI. So when you're trying to figure out how much money you can make per month, think about this total stake number, and then you can expect to make somewhere between 2 to 10% based off of this number. There are other factors though that go into this in terms of your total volume of bets and making sure that you're beating the closing line value above 55% of the time. The higher the number you can obtain on beating the CLV, the more profitable you're going to be. Now you have the tips to truly understand your earning potential for sports betting in 1 year. When you log into your sportsbook app and you see those pre-made boosts offered to you, do you know how to figure out if those boosts are actually any good? Click this video right here that will take you through the techniques step by step so that you can figure out if you're receiving a good price from the sportsbooks for this boost or are you getting ripped off.